Listen up, yo. You're having an Elvis pillow fight with Pomme Swipes After, a mutilated eunuch maker of the latest episode of Mom Swipes Left, an anesthetized podcast with two middle-aged women full of harumphs and har-hars. This is episode 119, about MSL episode 257. I'm your host, Pomme de Terre. Enjoy. I will give this episode 95 out of 90 unwelcome macaques. Running through my notes, of course, right off, sorry, itchy stash. Um, this week's episode was recorded over the phone. Even though they were worried the sound quality was fine, but they've never sounded older somehow with and crotchety, which is saying something. Carol worried about the call dropping and Jen having to console her. No, I'm not going to lose you. I'm just adding a call. I'm surprised it didn't end with Jen's or Carol saying, "Oh, this must be costing you a fortune." Oh, Carol's basement is very damp, but to their credit, she and Joel have been pumping it out for 4 days. Lots of innuendo there, but I was very happy to get name checked by Jenny and to learn that not only is she listening to my show, but I'm pushing her buttons, which she doesn't like, even though she says we should call her on her shit. She's an enigma, that one. I appreciated the clarification that she was actually suggesting turning $50,000 into $51,000, not $50,000 into $1,000, as I had interpreted her gibberish. I'm sorry, I need a lot of clarification. And I would still argue that time is money. So is it really worth taking those $1,000 bills and cutting off little pieces so you can assemble an extra 1,000? I think you're undervaluing your own time, dear. We heard a story about how Jen was in Boston and felt a vibration in her butthole. I wondered, was she playing chess at the time? Because that would have been interesting. But it's a very special talent she has. Like Injuns with their ear to the ground. I'm surprised she didn't stand up and shout, "Tatanka!" Yes, I'm making a very timely Dances with Anuses reference. In notable news, we learned about the Nullos, which sounds like a good idea to me. Reminds me of a paper I did in college about extreme environmental movements like the voluntary human extinction movement, vehement, as well as the involuntary human extinction movement that was trying to release sterilizing viruses into the world. We should. How many of the world's problems would end if we just got rid of the people? Most. I've got a note with nothing to say about it. Got no dick, no leg. Silver River is hard to say. Jen just keeps finding new theater prep expressions. Red leather, yellow leather. Try that one. The story about the Peruvian aliens that weren't. As soon as Carol said they looked like cakes, all I could think of was Carvel Cookie Puss. And then a lot about the Peter Principle. unfortunately took a long time to get to an explanation of the Peter Principle itself, and never an explanation. Oh, I'm going to get shit for this. Of why it's called the Peter Principle has nothing to do with penises, Peters as penises. It's called that because in 1968, the Canadian educator and author Lawrence Peter wrote about the concept with the intent to explain the dysfunctional performance of managers, which Jen and Carol did talk about. A lot of talk about what you call air traffic controllers. Carol did get around to that previously. Jen was a little stuck on ground force, which I think, well, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt here that you were just thinking about ground control to Major Tom. Alan had a welcome interruption with his sound effects and efforts to cut up a turd with a chopstick like a Jedi, including lightsaber sound effects, which reminded me of a funny story I heard about recently, that they had to cut out Ewan McGregor's vocals in episode 1, Star Wars episode 1, because whenever he was swinging his lightsaber, he would he would involuntarily make the sound effects. Jen does not have a monopoly on mispronunciations. Carol, sorry, it's hubris, not hubris. Part of the Peter Principle, I figured I should weigh in. No, I could not land a plane. I could not fight an elephant or a lion. I would only win a point off Serena Williams if she fucked up royally or aimed for me. That would be terrifying. I can always tell if a woman is faking an orgasm because iodine makes me turn blue. Not to mention the fact that there's no such thing as a female orgasm. In the end, Joel won, I would say. Love you too. Too long.